Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2.2 EX diesel. The car's covered 57,698 miles. The reason we do these videos is basically so you get to see the cars we're selling in operation. We're aware that a lot of our customers come from far afield, all over Europe in fact, to come see and buy our cars, so the least we can do is to go to the time and effort to do this for you. We know just how frustrating it can be to go and see a car to find out it's got a mechanical fault which you clearly should have been told about before setting off, so hence that's why we do it. Road test is also done on these lovely quiet country roads very close to our premises, so hopefully it'd be representative of what you'd feel yourself if offered a test drive on the car. This car's slightly different to most in the sense that it's not one of our general stock cars. It's actually my wife's car, and unfortunately it's time for a change because I love this car, which is why it's not quite as clean inside as it normally is when I do the videos, but it's hardly dirty. But the car's lovely. It's been very, very, very well maintained. We've thoroughly enjoyed driving it and owning it. Engine starts absolutely instantly, of course, settles to a completely smooth, even idle. No warning lights at all on the dashboard, by the way, relating to the engine or any other part of the car. But the engine's just brilliant. It's very smooth, very quiet in operation. Also on sort of longer runs particularly, very economical too. Easily exceed 40 miles per gallon on those longer trips, sort of high 30s if you're doing much shorter, constantly short trips. But you can even get better than that, in all honesty, but I'm being erring on the side of conservative in that sense. But the engine's also perfectly matched to the gearbox of the car. It's not always the case actually. Turbo diesels, because of the nature of their kind of the way the turbo works, some gearboxes can get a little bit confused with what the engine wants to do and vice versa, but this is a brilliant match. Gearbox itself actually originated in the Honda Legend, their flagship car, reason being that the gearbox in the manual was, the petrol rather, didn't have to deal with the torque demands of the diesel engine, so they wanted something that was beefier to be able to maintain their reputation for reliability. So it's massive overkill really, because it's the engine's not producing anything like the sort of power of that particular car that it came from. And the gear changes are really, really good on the car. They're very smooth. And again, no matter how good the reputation of a gearbox manufacturer is, you should still just check that when you engage the gears that there's no thumps or delays, and the gear changes should all be smooth and positive, and that's exactly the case in this car. These gearboxes I've seen do 200,000-300,000 miles, so it's rarely, if ever, an issue. Steering of the car, this is a generation of Honda I love because it's still actually using the hydraulic power steering, and I love it on the car. It just feels, it's got a lovely weight about it, a natural weight about it as well. But it's positive. There's no vibrations coming back through the steering wheel at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit, by the way, because obviously I've done plenty of motorway driving in the car. But it's just perfectly tuned to the car. It really is, and as I said, I can't feel any wear through the steering at all. Chassis of the car, again, what we're looking for on road test, it's just any signs of any kind of mechanical clumps or thumps coming from underneath. Aside from the fact you'll hear it hitting a bump, you don't get any kind of chatterings or noises from underneath at all. It's exactly as it should be. But Honda know this market really, really well, so the compromise, which is what suspension is all about, is set up for predominantly family use, for being a comfortable car. But what it doesn't do, it's very comfortable on the straight ahead like I am now. But it doesn't have that awful, thing where it kind of keels over the corners and starts wallowing, which so many cars or SUVs seem to be afflicted by, and that can be really unsettling for rear seat passengers, in all honesty. So they know their market particularly well, because the CR-V is actually the best-selling SUV in the world. So obviously customers of theirs will have fed back their sort of demands over the years, and this is what they came up with, which I think is just brilliant. And it feels really solid and secure on the road, by the way. It's got that lovely sort of heavy feel on the road, which I really love. It gives you a feeling of security as you're driving the car. Look around inside the, brakes on the car, by the way, absolutely spot on. Make sure no one's behind me, but give a shove. They're really good brakes on the vehicle, all functioning exactly as they should. Yeah, looking around inside the car, I mean, these are beautifully made vehicles. You know, it's a 10-year-old car. There's not a hint of a squeak or a rattle from the interior of the car. They're so well bolted together. Everything inside the car working exactly as it should. Your sat nav, which is obviously EX spec. You've got this lovely big glass panoramic roof, the electric blinds working as intended as well. Air conditioning pumps out absolutely ice cold air, and that's, you know, even on the hottest, muggiest summer days, it continues to do so. Dash directly in front, as I said, no warning lights. Temperature gauge running as a third, which is exactly where it should be on a Honda car. All the information, all the pixelation exactly as it should be. Lights, wipers, again, working perfectly. Hands-free system, my phone's paired to it, so I know it works exactly as it should as well, as does the cruise control, which I'm just putting on there. These are four-wheel drive vehicles, albeit Honda worked out really quickly that, you know, most people are going to be driving in perfectly good conditions, so why have four-wheel drive whirring away when it's not actually needed? So in the CR-V, there's no buttons to press, nothing to activate. It does it all for you. If your front wheels were to start to spin, because it runs in front-wheel drive, it automatically brings in the rear wheels to give you four-wheel drive absolutely seamlessly and instantly. It's a brilliant system. You know, I've used it in snow, mud, all sorts of stuff, and it's very effective. And when it no longer required, it just turns itself off. Obviously, what that does, it means it saves on fuel, tyre wear, and obviously mechanical stress that it puts through the car with, you know, a more basic system of four-wheel drive. And also its simplicity gives it its reliability, because we've never touched one, and we've sold thousands of Hondas using this system. So, you know, it's a very tough system indeed. As I said at the start of the video, the point of it, obviously, just to pick up any issues there might be. There's nothing to report whilst driving the vehicle. It just drives absolutely beautifully. Obviously, any questions, don't hesitate, do give us a call.